You guys criticized me when I said it was the world's first retractable lens, but this camera is actually the. We've been testing out the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro 5G for a couple of days now, and I have to say that this is a very bright start to the year for smartphones. From the design down to some of the specs, there's also something to be said about the overall performance of the X2 Pro. It has a lot of interesting stuff to offer, and of course a few caveats here and there, and we'll be exploring all of this and more in the video. So without further ado, let's get to the video. There are a lot of great things about this device, but its design is one that I could not possibly ignore, and I don't think anyone can either. The color and features of this Mars orange device that we've got here is a solid 10 in my opinion. If you like a device that makes a bold statement right out of the box, this is the one for you. The phone flaunts a large island on the back that carries 3 cameras and an LED flash. It also has a colored ring around one of the cameras, telling you that there's something special about this one camera. We'll get to this detail in a bit on the camera setup, but be sure to stick around for our real world tests. Another feature I find fascinating is the absorbing texture pattern on the back of this phone. It has a feel that's quite satisfying to hold in the hand, despite being a pretty big device. It just sits perfectly in your hand. On the front is a massive curved screen that adds its own touch to the design. The phone has 2 amazing colors, Mars orange, which is made of recycled plastics from the ocean, and the other color, stardust gray, which is obviously not made of stardust. What is stardust? Yet another one of my favorite things about the Phantom X2 Pro is the customized case that comes in the box as well. Rather than just a clear case or absolutely nothing, TECNO offers a case with a similar texture to the back of the phone, which means you don't miss out on that premium feel. The phone case also flaunts an adjustable ring that embraces the camera island. This acts as a phone holder that allows you to set your phone in many different positions. You can watch movies like this in landscape, make video calls, scroll social media or websites, all hands-free. You can even set it upside down, but there's no use case for that. We also got a lot of comments when we posted the unboxing short videos online that the color of the phone case should have been Mars orange as well to complement the Mars orange color, but it's black and it's hiding the Mars orange color. But what do you guys think though? Overall, the design of the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro is indeed one of a kind. The display of the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro is pretty straightforward on paper. It has a 6.8-inch double curved 120Hz AMOLED display that also has a resolution of 1080 by 2400 pixels. This display is almost continuous from top to bottom, with the only blemish being the centered punch hole cutouts on the selfie camera right here. Being a curved display and almost bezel-less at the top and bottom, you're getting an immersive viewing experience while playing games or watching videos. TECNO says that its 10-bit panel can cover 100% of the DCI-P3 color gamut, and it's evident in just how sharp and colorful this display is. Going about the user interface and playing colorful games and videos are a delight with this display. The best part is that you can also have some confidence in the display since it's a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus one. Alright, let's talk about performance. On paper, the performance is one of the very strong suits of this device. The chipset is a 4nm flagship Mediatek Dimensity 9000 processor. It pairs with 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, running on Google's Android 12 and TECNO's HiOS 12. Do note that the Phantom X2 Pro will get 2 years of Android update, Android 13 and 14, and 3 years of security update. What do you guys think about that? Testing out the performance with everyday use, multiple apps running in the background, playing games, streaming high quality content, and so on, we did not notice any drop in performance. Now combine this performance with the display and you've got one that is very good for gamers. One might also feel the device start to warm up after some minutes of gaming. Playing Call of Duty for a little over 30 minutes, we could feel it get significantly warmer at the top and the bottom of this device. Thankfully, it did not have any effect whatsoever on the smooth running of the game. Now, playing Call of Duty at the highest frame rate and graphics quality is available for this device. The Phantom X2 Pro will run like hot knife through butter. All things considered, I did not have any complaints about the performance that I got on the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro. The device responds very quickly to touch and it's smooth to use. It offers a performance worthy of being called a flagship device. Even the fingerprint scanner, despite being under this display, it's absolutely well executed and it's quick to respond. I also did notice some improvements in the face unlock tech. It's gotten a lot faster and it's even better with low light. Once again, these all get top marks from me. So at the time of making this video, because we got this device before the release date on the 20th of January, we can't talk about the price just yet, but make sure to check the pinned comment for the updated price. If you're watching this after the 20th, just check the pinned comment. Now, the Phantom X2 Pro packs a whopping 5160 mAh battery, and even before doing a real-life battery test, I already expected great things from the battery in this device. This is really as big as you can get with a battery on a smartphone, and what I find pretty impressive is that it doesn't even weigh so much for a device with a big battery. In our test, the battery held up as expected. We put it under extensive use and the battery life was able to last the entire day on a full charge. From observations, this is not one of those devices that you put down and be losing battery on standby time. With long hours of standby time connected to Wi-Fi, there was no battery loss. It's worth pointing out though that a battery will last relative to your usage, and the same applies here. Now, playing Call of Duty and scrolling TikTok for about an hour continuously, the X2 Pro lost around 15% of the battery life, which is fair. Now, when it comes to charging though, the X2 Pro is a device that snaps us back to reality with the charging speed. With the 45-watt charger that comes in the box right here, it took us about an hour to go from 0 to 100%. After the first 10 minutes of charging, the device went from 0 to 21%. It took around 35 minutes to get to 50%. And considering the battery performance of this device, if you get a quick 10 to 20 minutes of charging, then it should be able to hold up nicely till the next charge. As we mentioned earlier, there are 3 cameras on the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro. The primary camera is a 50 megapixel wide lens, while the smallest camera is a 13 megapixel ultra wide lens with support for macro vision, which is just a fancy way of saying that it can take really up close shots or a macro shot. The highlight and the most intriguing feature of this phone is the aforementioned special camera with the orange ring around it. This is a 50 megapixel portrait camera with support for 2.5x zoom, and it has a retractable lens. You guys criticized me when I said it was the world's first retractable lens, but this camera is actually the world's first retractable portrait lens. Some use of words right there. TECNO. So this camera is the world's first retracting portrait lens, and it's said to be comparable to a professional camera on a smartphone. First off, TECNO deserves some accolades for what they've done with this setup, but is this enough? Well, this is where this device gets really interesting, and I promise it does. The selfie camera is a 32 megapixel sensor and is capable of capturing 1080p videos at 30 and 60 frames per second. For the front camera, you've also got a front-facing flash which is quite bright. The selfie quality of the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro looks good with decent sharpness, and the same goes for the portrait mode. It's got correct edge detection and background blur. Just make sure you set it correctly before you take a picture. I noticed that the photos I took with the main lens had a warmer look and feel to it. However, this is unlike the ultra-wide lens which you can use to take macro shots. Having the option of taking a macro shot with a 13 megapixel ultra-wide lens has its benefits, since you can go very close to the object. One thing I noticed though was that the ultra-wide lens, while it captures a wide range in terms of spectrum, is not as sharp as the main lens as expected. You can even zoom up to 10 times and as far as 20 times and still pick out details in the shot. We get smartphones with good cameras to inevitably take pictures of people at some point. That warmness still translates to the shot you're getting on here, even at 2.5 times portrait. If you're taking a portrait shot, I would always recommend a 2.5 times zoom. Like almost every big megapixel camera smartphone out there, you can't shoot with the full 50 megapixel camera on here, so you can toggle it on in the camera options. I noticed that the 50 megapixel shots are a little over 3 times more than the regular image in file size. The main benefits are slightly sharper images, but the drawback is that it will fill up your storage quicker. Now, when it comes to video, the rear camera can shoot in 1080p and up to 4K 60 frames per second. As a bonus, you get decent stabilization with ultra steady, but it is limited to 1080p. This is what a video looks like without stabilization, and this is what a video looks like with stabilization or ultra steady turned on. The videos I got with this camera, especially the 4K videos, looked decent, but I'd have loved to see it handle exposure better. This is the front-facing camera video quality from the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro. Let me know what you guys think about this video quality you're seeing in the comment section down below. The front-facing camera also has stabilization, but you might lose some quality in the process. Taking shots with this phone at night, we noticed some retained sharpness and some noise in the images. The portrait version seemed to have decent background blur with all the same caveats. I also found the video quality to actually be okay when we shot these at night as well. Overall, this phone looks like a great package with a solid design. When I first saw this design in pictures, I was curious as to what was going on with the camera module, but it's one of those things where you have to see it in person to know if you would like it. I personally do like this design, but what are your thoughts on the TECNO Phantom X2 Pro from our overview so far? Do leave a comment in the comment section down below, and if you like this video, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button with the bell icon beside it so you'll be the first to know when we post videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the very next one.